And now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akuga as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, Mamode Akuga. Bayelsa State Governor Senator Dott has called on the federal government to review the 13% derivation formula for oil-producing states, saying it no longer reflects the principles of true federalism. Governor Diri, who also lamented the negative impact of unsustainable oil and gas exploration on host communities, noted that the current revenue-sharing formula has contributed to the underdevelopment and neglect of many oil-producing communities. The governor made this known last week while receiving the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Dr. Ekpo, who was on a courtesy visit at the government house in Yenagoa, the state capital.
The visit by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Dr. Ekpo, to the Bayelsa State Government House was for the official rollout of Nigeria's free distribution of LPG or cooking gas cylinder program under the federal government's Decade of Gas initiative. Bayelsa, as the first state to benefit from the initiative, will receive 27,000 gas cylinders. This is to promote the adoption of clean cooking gas and achieve universal access to clean energy by 2030.
We are talking about the health of our people, the women and the youth. We are talking about sustainability of the environment, preserving the environment. Because when we do this and we try to pull out people from utilization of firewood, the forest will be preserved.
Welcoming the delegation, Governor Dott said the choice of Bayelsa is especially symbolic considering the state's enormous oil and gas wealth, which has contributed significantly to Nigeria's economy for decades. However, beyond the distribution of LPG cylinders, the governor renewed his call for reforms that would allow oil-producing states to exercise greater control over their natural resources in line with the principles of true federalism.
And a lot of people will tell you that oil and gas in Bayelsa is more of a curse than a blessing because of the lopsided nature of oil and gas ownership in this country. That the land belongs to me, but the oil inside of my land belongs to federal government. And so there is a whole lot of, injustice that must still be addressed.
The issue of marginalization, environmental degradation, and economic inequality in the Niger Delta are long-standing concerns that have remained unresolved. For Governor Dott, the 13% derivation paid to oil-producing states is rather an injustice that should be addressed, changed, and increased.
We want to be part and parcel of the oil and gas that God has endowed in this region. We are not even saying we want to take it all. We are saying, look, you can't give us 13% of what we don't even know, because most times we don't even know how much of that 13% you are giving to us. Because our people are not there at the terminals where you are loading.
In another development, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Dott has appealed to residents of communities yet to be connected to the state's independent power network to remain patient, citing ongoing distribution and transmission infrastructure challenges. The governor made this known last week during the State Executive Council meeting.
I assure you that every area within Yenagoa will be connected, because my directive is for Yenagoa to be firstly connected before we move out to other local government areas. We are going to procure meters, and the moment the meters are installed, there will be no arbitrary payment. It will be according to what you consume.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Political leaders, security experts, and other stakeholders from across the Niger Delta have called for stronger collaboration among security agencies, improved intelligence gathering, and the deployment of modern technology to effectively combat emerging security threats across the country. Former Chief of Defense Staff General Loki Irabo, former Inspector General of Police Mike Okiro, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doediri, and Senator Seriaka Dixon were among the prominent personalities who made the call last week at the first daily 6th anniversary National Dialogue on Security held at the Yaradua Center, Abuja.
Tagged Declaration of State of Emergency on Insecurity, Matching Words with Action, the first daily 6th anniversary National Dialogue on Security brought together the political class, security experts, policy makers, and civil society organizations to chart a way forward in addressing Nigeria's multifaceted security challenges. In his welcome address, First Daily publisher Dr. Daniel Iworiso Maxson said the initiative was designed to stimulate constructive national conversations and generate practical policy recommendations that would strengthen Nigeria's security architecture.
Every day you wake up, the headlines are screaming, people killed, kidnapped, and funny enough, we just move on. It's as though we have lost our humanity as a nation. And I feel really very sad. So the main purpose of our gathering here today is to share ideas, discover new perspectives for Nigeria's security.
Keynote speaker at the event, former Chief of Defense Staff General Loki Irabo, pointed out that it would take greater political will and meaningful grassroots development initiatives to combat the hydra-headed problem of insecurity.
So security is not the exclusive responsibility of the Ministry of Defense. It is a whole of government challenge. Economic policy, education policy, infrastructure investment, judicial reforms, anti-corruption enforcement, all these have direct bearing on security situation. When governors behave as though insecurity in the next state is someone else's problem, these are not administrative gaps. They are strategic failures.
It will be recalled that in November 2025, President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency on insecurity to confront the worsening security situation across the country. Unfortunately, that did little to address the country's security challenges as attacks and mass abductions have continued almost unabated. As part of efforts to strengthen the nation's security architecture, the federal government has recently embarked on the mass recruitment of police and military personnel. It has also strengthened collaboration with the United States military and other international partners while pushing forward with plans for creation of state police. However, development lawyer Frank Tietie, Senator Seriaka Dixon, former Inspector General of Police Mike Mbama Okiro, and other stakeholders insisted that improved funding of Nigerian security agencies would boost their morale and enhance the country's fight against insecurity.
This emergency should not only affect the emergency as to human rights, but it should be emergency as to funding. So declare an emergency as to funding the police, as to funding the army, or the law enforcement, generally the military.
Ton of equipment. There's equipment there. No vehicles there. So what I say, the government is actually encouraging security in the country. Because they know what to do, but they're not doing it.
It's good to fight criminality, but it's better to fight the causes of criminality. Effective retraining and remuneration. And while doing so, engagements, governance, engaging with the people, investing in education, scholarships and grants and schools.
Meanwhile, in his address, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doyediri, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Nimbofa Ayawe, renewed calls for constitutional reforms that would ensure governors are more accountable to their people and fully discharge their constitutional responsibilities of internal security.
We have repositioned the state's grassroots security framework through the reorganization of the conventional security outfit, codenamed Operation Doakpo.
These efforts have been reinforced by the deployment of CCTV cameras at strategic locations across Yenagoa and environs, the procurement of patrol vans, motorcycles, and other operational assets have markedly improved the mobility, coordination, and rapid response capacity of our security personnel.
There was a consensus at the end of the event on establishment of state police, improving interagency collaboration and ensuring adequate funding of Nigeria's security institutions as essential steps towards tackling the hydra-headed menace of insecurity across the country.
Inside the Niger Delta, Azikeo Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Azikeo Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability, and infrastructure development.
With maternal deaths during childbirth still a major concern in many rural communities across Nigeria, the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) has begun a region-wide training program for traditional birth attendants, starting with Delta and Bayelsa states. The Commission says the initiative is designed to improve maternal health care in the oil-rich region by equipping traditional birth attendants with safer delivery practices. The Managing Director of the NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, said the training reflects the Commission's resolve to reducing maternal and newborn deaths across the Niger Delta.
While the dedication and experience of traditional birth attendants have helped countless women through pregnancy and delivery, the practice has also contributed to preventable maternal and infant deaths. This is largely because many of them lack training, emergency delivery skills, and access to life-saving medical equipment needed to manage pregnancy and childbirth complications. However, in an effort to eradicate this challenge, the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) has begun training traditional birth attendants across the region, starting with Delta and Bayelsa states. Speaking at the training in Delta and Bayelsa states last week, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, who was represented by a principal manager in the Department of Education, Health and Social Services, Mrs. Diary Oloko Kwame, urged traditional birth attendants to embrace collaboration with skilled medical professionals for improved maternity care.
So today, NDDC remembered them, and we are here. We have taught them today to practice the best method. We told them more especially to register with maybe hospitals, government hospitals or community hospitals where there are hospitals around them, so that those people, those doctors there can help them to handle delicate cases.
One of the resource persons, Mrs. Gift Akitiri, highlighted the important role traditional birth attendants play in many communities and stressed the need for basic knowledge to assist pregnant women in their communities.
BP, some people, some mothers, BP or high blood pressure, they come there high. Some feed worker, when they're pregnant, their BP no dey up. But when they born finish, BP come there up. And it's very, very dangerous. It bad well. Una must have BP apparatus. That monitor, when they carry tie hand, you give them medicine. You know what? You carry them go hospital. Make the doctors go check them well. Hospital will get better facility. They'll get all the drugs where they go give. Where go help them.
Some of the participants thanked the NDDC for organizing the workshop and appealed to the Commission to extend the training to more communities across the region.
They told us to know our limits, when to refer patients, that it's not all the patients that we handle. The ones that we could not handle, we should not delay the patient at all. We should not delay the patient, or the patient is out of hands, or the complication comes in. We should refer the patient. That doesn't mean that we don't know work. When we refer patient, it means that we know what we are doing. I so appreciate them.
At the end of the workshop, more than 300 participants received delivery kits and cash support to assist them in providing safer maternal care in their communities.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori says his administration is building a state where every Deltan can dream boldly, walk proudly, and thrive without fear. This is as the governor approved a robust support package for 86 indigents repatriated from South Africa following recent xenophobic attacks. The package includes a 2 million naira grant for each affected family, monthly stipends for individuals and families, as well as free medical screenings at state-owned health facilities and psychosocial support.
To help these Delta sons and daughters start a new life after abandoning their livelihoods in South Africa, the Delta State government last week, after a formal reception at the government house in Asaba, rolled out a 175 million naira support package for the affected persons.
As a government, we are creating a state where every individual can dream boldly, walk proudly, and thrive without fear. Together, we will turn adversity into progress and build a Delta state that shines as a beacon of hope and opportunity. But there is no place like home.
The package includes a 2 million naira grant for each affected family and a monthly stipend of 300,000 naira for families and 200,000 naira for individuals beginning this August through to May 2027. These affected persons and their families will also access free medical and psychosocial support at state-owned facilities throughout this stipulated period. The commissioner overseeing the Bureau for Special Duties, Ejiro Etacherure, said the government would ensure the returnees find their footing back home after suffering such a humiliating and dislocating predicament.
When you get to your various communities, do well to make inquiries about the different opportunities that you can quickly tap into, restart your lives, and you will be glad you did. Delta State, under administration of Governor Sheriff Oborewori, is full of opportunity.
For the beneficiaries, this is indeed heartwarming. They thanked the governor and his team for their deliberate efforts and good intentions towards them.
But the Delta State government official we met there in Lagos was communicating with us. He said we should calm down, that everything will be all right. So we are over happy. I think with all the support from the federal government and different state government is be doing, this one of Delta State, as it stands now, is top-notch. So we are very grateful. We thank him. We will give him all our support.
I've stayed in South Africa for 13 years. Thank God for being alive because so many lost their life back there. Yeah, so I'm happy. I'm so surprised and I'm overwhelmed about the gesture. I never expected it, but I thank the governor of Delta State, my state. Yeah, so I'm overwhelmed and I pray God will continue to bless him and he should continue his good work.
These were among the 1,490 Nigerians recently evacuated back home from South Africa following the recent xenophobic attacks that sent many Africans fleeing from South Africa.
Inside the Niger Delta.
For most of the time in which the River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has been at the helm of affairs in the oil-rich state, his reign has been rather chaotic than a straight, predictable outcome of events. First was the fallout with his benefactor, who is now the Minister for the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Then came a series of confrontations that left the House of Assembly divided in their loyalties between both individuals and the eventual declaration of a state of emergency in the state. While these two camps now seem to be patching things up, the governor's camp appears to have lost ground while trying to position itself ahead of the 2027 general election, with the governor shelving his plan for a second term. However, the recent alignment of Fubara with the Wike-led camp, known as the Rainbow Coalition, has left many, both within and outside the state, in a hot debate over what this means for governance in the oil-rich state. Inside the Niger Delta spoke to some residents in Port Harcourt about this new political development.
Governor Fubara recently declared publicly that he was ready to return to the political structure that brought him to power, and in this case, the Rainbow Coalition, now being championed by the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike.
I've gone back to our family. So please, wherever you are, give your total support to that coalition. We need to move forward. The time of war is over.
The FCT minister also recently announced that the political family was welcoming the governor back with open arms after what he described as his decision to retrace his steps.
Receive him with all good minds, nothing to hide. We all work together.
Some residents across the state capital, Port Harcourt, welcomed this recent reconciliatory move. For them, this would go on to create the political atmosphere for growth and development in the state after lagging behind due to the political crisis that had rocked the state.
If they will have to make peace in River State to come, to bring development and bring seaport back and bring industry and make the state to work normal, it's very good.
And they are governor now. We don't get choice. Like me, I like him, I go follow him.
This is not how everyone in the state sees this development. For some people, this is one-sided politics that benefit the so-called godfather.
In like him, our senior man will be governor. In for people where. We all see the condition where the man keep us now. We go manage like that. Because he resign saying they go ahead again. So people carry don't die. So I don't sure say our senior man will be yes a week go feel use better eyes see them again. Can you see them as betrayers?
They've all lost everything. They put all their trust, they're all eggs in your basket. And here you are, leaving the basket across the sea. Having swam over to the other side, you ask them, go there and check your own out. Who does that? I do not see Fubara reconciling with Wike. I see Wike defeating Fubara hands down. And Fubara had no option than shamefully go back and say, Oga, accept me as one of your servants.
Another question many are asking is whether this seeming reconciliation will stand, especially looking at the entire fault lines of the past and the seeming disposition of an entire political bloc that threw their weight behind Governor Fubara during the days of the political crisis. Meanwhile, watchers of trends say another critical leg to this is where the ordinary citizen stands in all of this, because at the end of the day, they hold the cards ahead of the 2027 general elections. They may decide to swing it in any direction they wish. Until then, everyone will be keenly watching what the Rivers State political scene and the recent alignment brings forth.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The culture and tradition of Oshi Kingdom in Akure North local government area of Ondo State came alive as sons and daughters of the ancient community gathered for this year's annual Okpa Festival. The Okpa Festival, which is a celebration of the ancestral roots of the people, features a rather strange ritual of flogging adult males. This ancient tradition that is still in practice today represents bravery, endurance, and resilience of the Oshi people. Take a look at some of the highlights from this year's dramatic festival in Oshi. We, however, advise viewers' discretion.
The Okpa Festival in Osi Kingdom, Akure North local government area of Ondo State, is an annual festival celebrated usually around the third quarter of every year. To begin this year's festival, which was held last week, residents and visitors assembled at the palace of the monarch of the kingdom, His Royal Majesty Oba Olajide David Okunatu, to pay their respects. The royal father then led his chiefs, other community leaders, and members of the community in a colorful procession through the town. While music, dancing, and cultural displays remain an integral part of the Okpa Festival, its most defining feature is the symbolic cane flogging ritual. During the ceremony, willing male participants exchange strokes of the cane, an exercise that symbolizes courage, endurance, and bravery. Women are not left out. They are free to flog any willing young man during the ritual and can equally be flogged if they can bear the pain. To many first-time visitors, the ritual is strange, especially because it involves inflicting pain. For residents, however, it is a cherished tradition handed down by their forebears, which they are willing to preserve.
Children from anywhere, London, America, will be around today to celebrate Ọdún Ọ̀pá Òsì.
This is our heritage. This is our pride. This is our culture. This is our tradition. This is our belief. Observing this yearly, we know the benefit we have been having. Our togetherness is a power, is a message.
Some of the participants were left with some visible cane marks on their bodies. However, the Iresi of Osi Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Oba Okunatu, explains that the discomfort is only temporary and fades after traditional prayers and blessings are offered for the people and the kingdom.
When we celebrate Oba Mesiba, we see the changes in Osi every year. We celebrate the new improvement, development, peace in Osi everywhere.
Meanwhile, similar Opa festival are also celebrated in communities such as Iyinekiti in Ekiti State and Ipetu Ijesha in Oraide local government area of Osun State, where the symbolic cane flogging ritual remains an integral part of the festivities.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, that's the size of our package on the program for today. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. We'll be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screens. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria for these stories and many more. Until next week, I am Mamode Akuga, thanking you for tuning in. Bye for now.